Hello and welcome to my first session of playing through Silent Hill 1. We're just going to play it on the PlayStation 3 because that's much easier than fooling around with my PlayStation 2 and memory cards, and I already have it all set up. This is actually my second time recording because my first time recording I said a bunch of great stuff and I wasn't capturing. I really need to get used to this sort of stuff. So we're going to watch this entire first cutscene. I'm actually going to put the controller down so I can't reflexively skip through it. There's a lot of very spoilerish things in there, and speaking of spoilers, if you haven't played these games before and you don't want to get spoiled early on, this is not the walkthrough for you. I spoil a lot, and not even usually on purpose. I just like to... When I see things that I realize are foreshadowing, or I see things that I realize tie in later, I get all excited and mention it. And then I go, damn, I shouldn't have done that, and I'm not going to restart the capture just for that. So, a lot of cutscenes from later on in the game are included in here, as are some of the cutscenes from the endings, which I find are kind of fun. We're going to be getting the UFO ending in this playthrough, because I already have a New Game Plus file from which to start and get our UFO ending. It's pretty much my favorite ending, because, you know, it's a kind of lighthearted one, and I love the UFO endings in Silent Hill games. And, you do miss out on a significant amount of the game getting the UFO ending, though. There's a lot of choices you don't have to make. You miss probably an hour or two of the end of the game, because you don't even go to the last area, you just get your ending. So if you would like to see the rest of the game, just drop me a comment in the comments section, and I'll make sure to play off from the last save I make before we get the UFO ending, meet the final criteria to get the UFO ending. And hopefully that will be good enough, because I will probably not be trying to get the good plus ending otherwise. I'll probably get the worst possible ending if I get an ending besides the UFO ending. That's the easiest one to get. You don't have to save anyone. I've always kind of wanted to shoot Sybil, so... Of course, that girl in front of the car is the same girl who's all wrapped up in bandages before in that cutscene, and she's very important. Now, I ran into this problem the first time I tried to capture this, in that it's the New Game Plus called Next Fear in this, starts you not exactly at the beginning of the game. So we're going to start a new game, get to that cutscene where they start you off in Next Fear, soft reset, then start off in Next Fear so we can get our UFO ending. So let's start. Might as well do it in hard. Now this cutscene, of course, starts right after he drove into the cliff at the end of the last cutscene that we just saw. Except the little girl's gone. And thus we have entered the meat of the story, that the little girl's gone. It's about the entire conflict there in itself. Now, I'm not going to read the subtitles, because I think that they're pretty big and that they're really slow enough to keep up with on your own. And honestly, I just feel like kind of a jerk when I'm sitting there reading the subtitles. The game seems kind of random in what they decide to get voice actors for and what they don't. Like, the most inane lines get a voice actor, except some of the more important things in the games just don't. Just saw that in the other cutscene.
Cheryl? Is that Cheryl?
This little girl named Cheryl. Oh, my controller's dying. Oops. I won't bother getting the charger right now, because I'm not planning on this being a very long session. I'm just going to get us up to the end of the cutscene where we save, and we're going to call that for right now. Just getting started with all this, and I want to make sure all my render settings and such are perfect before I get into any really meaty gameplay sections. As you notice, there's a lot of fog in this game, and there always will be, and that's both to kind of set this nice little atmosphere we've got going with the snow and the fog, and also because back in PlayStation 1 days, they really did not have the technological capabilities to render a huge town like this. So they have to kind of artificially shorten how far the player can see. Beware of dog. Sure, that won't come up again. Ooh, a blood spatter. Did they not beware of the dog? What is it? Okay. Look at the garbage cans. This is another thing I do. I like to look at everything, so if you're ever just kind of watching this muted and you're like, why is she walking into walls? That's probably why. The fixed camera angles as well, as you can see here, I can't move the camera. Another thing to kind of hide the technological limitations, except it actually does make it much, much scarier. I personally think that that's what they totally fucked up in Silent Hill 5 Homecoming, which is probably one of the least scary survival horror games of all time. And that's just because they let you look around, so if you can always look behind you on a moment's notice, what's scary about that? Of course there are worse things going on in Homecoming, but that's a big one. It's a staple. Gotta have that fixed camera, even if it's not required anymore. It's getting darker. Now the funny thing is that he has these matches now. You never see them again. You get a flashlight a few minutes later than this. And he has these matches and you never see them in his inventory. Here's the beginning of the wheelchair motif. You're gonna see those everywhere. Kind of fun effect of the wheel spinning.